Good afternoon, viewers, teachers, students, parents, everyone in the Caribbean region and around the world. Welcome to our panel discussion this evening. Before we begin, I would like to let everyone tuned in know that we're live on GIS Facebook page and YouTube channel. So tell a friend to tell a friend that if they can't join us via the television or radio, they can go right ahead and join us via any of the social media platforms stated. Also encourage them to share the link with others so it's here this afternoon. I am Tete Brown and I'll be your host for this evening's discussion. I am a hospitality student at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. I now invite the General Secretary for the St. Lucia National Student Council to brief us with some opening remarks.
Good afternoon, students, teachers, parents, and all our other viewers. Welcome. The St. Lucia National Student Council saw the need to host this panel discussion to allow students in St. Lucia to voice how the use of social media has influenced different aspects of their lives. As we recognize, now more than ever, social media is one of the most used means of communication. A primary and secondary school student will be granted the opportunity to share with us how social media has impacted their lifestyle, image, and mental health. Given that our physical contact with each other has been reduced drastically during the past year, there are many issues that the executive saw the need to address, and looking at the main cause of these issues, social media has its part to play with many issues that our students face, even with the online learning. Issues such as cyberbullying and mental health distress are key barriers preventing our students from reaching their highest limit in their academic performances. This discussion will not only highlight the issue, but look to discuss recommendations to these issues. We hope that the highest body that deals with education in St. Lucia take note on what is being expressed here today by our students. We would like to thank our panelists for taking the opportunity to share with you all their experiences with social media as a student. And we hope that you, the audience, sit back, relax, and enjoy and engage in our discussion via the social platform where we are live. We move right back to our host, Titania Brown, who will lead you through this discussion today. I thank you.
Thank you, Mallory, for your wonderful opening remarks. Moving right along to the next swing on our agenda with the introduction of our panelists. We will begin with our primary school student, Gasper. Right after, we'll have our secondary school student, Siani. Thank you.
My name is Jasper Gabriel. I am 11 years old. I am currently a 6th grade student at the Camille Henry Memorial School, and I am also a member of a uniform club called the Pathfinders Club.
Hi and good afternoon. My name is Siana Dalso. I'm 16 years old and I am a 5th form student at the St. Joseph's Convent Secondary School. I am a member of the Karate Federation of St. Lucia and the Girls of a Feather Club, the national club.
Nice, welcome everyone. Before we can this discussion, I will be reading a brief overview on the panel discussion and the topic, Impact of Social Media on Students' Lifestyle. Social media is a vital tool in our daily lives, and as students, it is important that we know how social media can impact our lifestyle. the St. Lucia National Students Council decided to formulate a panel discussion committee that focuses on creating and executing discussion today. The committee was created on September 6 and the first meeting took place on September 7, where we had an introductory meeting with members what needs to be done for this discussion to take place by the scheduled date. The chairperson from the executive on the committee was the General Secretary, Tamika Regis, and with the 4 persons on the committee, they fairly executed their duties to get the work done on time. Deliberations between the committee and executive, we concluded by choosing the now known topic. Several meetings were held by the committee to discuss and formulate a proposal to present to the executive, to the committee, to the executive by September 21st. The final draft was presented by the chairperson from the executive to the committee on September 26. Now commencing preparations for the day, the panels were chosen by Mr. Jaden Octave, the committee member, and an interview was held by the President, Sherwin Alexander, and General Secretary Tamika Regis to representative for this discussion. The panelists' first meeting was held on October 6, where the proposal was being explained to them by the chairperson from the executive. They also had a public speaking session held by the St. Lucia National Student Council Vice President 124, Alan Splant, General Secretary Tamika Regis, and the Public Relations Officer, Jelu Constantine, on October 17th, which of course now leads us to the day of the discussion, which is today, 18th October 2021. Upon recognizing the effect that social media now has on students, especially in the shift to online learning, it has shown us now ever the pros and cons social media has on our livelihood. The impact of social media on students' lifestyle simply means how using social media can affect your daily living as students. For starters, what is social media? Based on the Google Dictionary, social media is websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. This is to show you that social media is the main computer-based technology that we use to communicate with family and friends. With that being established, now that we all know what is social media and what it is used for, we must highlight that these uses can be either good or bad. Discussion will highlight the pros and cons about social media, together with recommendations on how to have a huge part to play in how we manage our social media platforms, how we manage our time, and how productive we are in getting tasks we need to get done. This is not up for debate. The majority of us must act that we do spend more time on social media than getting our schoolwork done. Do you think good habit? And doesn't this affect our lifestyle as students? There are so many ways social media can affect us and help us. And this discussion today should be interesting among the panelists and myself. In conclusion, the true question lies at what does social media mean to you? We all have different perspectives on this topic, and our panelists, who are each on 3 different educational levels, primary, secondary, and tertiary education, will be given the chance to express their thoughts and perspectives on media and how it can impact us as students. With that being said, move right into our first question, our panel discussion today. Before we begin, just a quick statement. You all are allowed to send us questions through the lives for the panelists. And if we have time in the end, we will go ahead and ask the panelists. Panelists, are you ready?
Yes, I think I'm ready.
Okay, nice. Our first question today, anybody can go ahead and answer it. This question is, what does social media mean to you?
To me personally, social media is a way of communication and certain apps entertainment.
Okay, nice. Sienna?
To me, social media is a place where I could go to speak to my friends, to get people's perspective on different topics, and to inspire people and other things.
Nice. Okay, our second question. When did you join social media and what were your challenges?
I first joined social media in grade 3. That platform was WhatsApp, and I didn't experience any challenges because I was encouraged by my family to join it, because at the time it was being introduced, it was seen as an avenue to call and text family for free. So it was just advertised to me as a tool for my mother to be able to save money. So I joined WhatsApp at her request, where the challenge of asking permission came in was in grade 6 when I asked my mom to join Musical.ly, which is now TikTok, and she flat out told me no, and towards the end of grade 6 I asked her to join Snapchat, and she said yes.
Oh. Yes.
I've been using social media for a while now, and I needed to ask my parents' permission to use WhatsApp as a way of communicating with them, and they allowed it. So now I just use WhatsApp as a
So social media is basically a community, your communicating platform.
Yes, essentially.
All right. Would you consider yourself a viewer or content creator? Would you consider yourself a viewer or content creator?
I consider myself a viewer.
Why?
Because I just view and I don't really add or, let's say, post anything.
All right.
Same for me. I do upload content, but the majority of the time that I spend on social media is viewing content rather than to creating it and interacting with my followers and these kinds of things.
Okay. How has social media impacted your personal lifestyle? How has social media impacted your personal lifestyle?
Social media has impacted my personal lifestyle in a positive way. It actually depends on what I watch, the things I watch, impacts what I do, what I say, how I act. So social media has impacted me in a positive way.
Okay. Well, at least it impacted you in a positive way. Sienna, what's your view on that?
Social media has, in the short term, in general, social media gives me, things to laugh at, jokes to my friends, both virtually and in person. It also inspires me for ideas for small projects, initiatives I could take up or could in different groups and these kinds of things. So that's the impact that social media has had on me personally.
Nice. So Gasper, the question for you. You are graduating your prime in the next year, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you viewed any social media platforms about some secondary schools on the island? If yes, which social media platform has been your attention, and which secondary school is that you're looking at going by looking at the social media platforms?
I want to go to the St. Mary's College secondary school. I have looked at the social media page, and I see them having sports. I see them having fun, so that has made me want to attend that school.
Oh, nice. Well, I wish you all the best on your exams while you work to push for this goal in your life.
Thank you.
Sienna, your question. You are graduating from the school that you currently attend and moving on to your next level of education. The schooling institutions that you wish to attend, that school, social media handles media handles pursued you to want to attend that school?
Not necessarily. I don't think so, because I decided on the school that I wish to attend after secondary school, and I only just recently started to interact with its social media pages on Instagram and YouTube, and that is like a cherry on a cake that's already existed. So I was, but the way they present themselves on social media, it makes me even more elated, and sorry, it makes me more elated to go to that school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now due for a commercial break. We'll be back in a few seconds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you know we can limit the spread of the COVID-19 virus? The Ministry of Health is your partner in achieving this solution. Introducing the Amber Wristwatch. The Amber Wristwatch is designed for monitoring daily movements while in quarantine. It provides an accurate location and a precise heart rate. The device is also waterproof and can be worn during all daily functions, like washing the dishes or taking a shower. It's worn like a typical timepiece. The Ministry of Health can now better monitor people in home quarantine and receive alerts of those who do not stay in the confines of their home. A 14-day rental of the Amber Wristwatch is just $75 US. Let us stop the breaches of home quarantine.
Toucher bouchou, pas toucher zio, oueste caillou, ma wepio, protecte famille, quand ça caille trop, ou pas qu'attendre, police caille bao.
Couvert bouchou avant pousser, avant oueste et moucher, lavez les mots et chavoublé, oueste caillou soufflé. Comment ça va t'y oisé, avec quoi mon oueste papier, toi qu'est-ce que nous cabouté, corona caille yo coup de pied. C'est la mort, hey, pas toucher zio. Pas toucher bouchou et try pas toucher no. Social distance 6 feet minimum. For more information just dial 311. What's the book at you? Please stay at your home. Coronavirus coffee Nico Al Capone. Can't what take on you even give you diarrhea. Practice good hygiene. Corona can't disappear. And toi virus bad virus la. Bad virus la. Bad virus la. And toi virus bad virus la. Bad virus la. Bad virus la.
Welcome back and thanks for waiting. Before we begin our second half of this discussion, I now welcome our tertiary level student Ethan, and I will now have him introduce himself to you guys.
Hello, I am Ethan Leon. I currently attend the St. Mary's, the Alpha Louis Community college. I am doing economics, trade and finance there, and I'm very excited to talk to my fellow peers.
Okay, nice and welcome, Ethan. Okay, so our next question is, as a student, what were some of the lessons that social media has taught to you? As a student, what were some of the lessons that social has taught to you?
It depends. I watch some videos that I watch. Not only teaches me life lessons and life tips, but it also teaches me how to interact with people, and it has given me a better manner on how to behave.
Oh, really? Nice.
Well, one of my lessons I learned was to not post everything I think, and that's one of the biggest lessons I could have learned. I think it was Billie Eilish that said the same thing, because you always, at my age, you think of very dark, personal, and things that you don't want to have on the internet, and it's not ideal to post every little thought that you have on the internet, and it's crazy. Yeah.
That's a very great lesson. Sienna?
Yeah, I could relate to that, Ethan. On the positive side, as a student, it has taught me some study tips from the different pages that I follow. I got exposed to some apps that really helped me with my preparation for CC, for example. It also I used for like to prepare the meetings and different activities and initiatives that we have. On a negative side, that's not my experience per se, but what I've observed is that, you know, some students, a lot of them are taught to make excuses for themselves and these kinds of things. As much as you must be compassionate for yourself as a student, especially, some people kind of overdo it, and they just get an excuse to not put anything into anything that they do for some reason.
Okay, Sienna, thank you for your answer. Okay, based on experiences, do you consider your most frequent social media platform a safe and secure environment for students? Based on your experiences, do you consider your most frequent media platform a safe and secure environment for students?
Well, WhatsApp the most, and you can create a safe and secure environment for yourself. You create the experience, but it can quickly get out of control if you start adding new numbers and numbers that you don't recognize and people that you don't want on your phone, the negative people, and it can quickly get to that point. So I urge everybody to just try and create the experience that you want in your phone. If it's to be very studious or to be very focused or to be, you just want to have fun, create experience on your social media platform of choice. And WhatsApp, that makes it very easy. The other platforms, it can get at the start.
So even whilst using WhatsApp, right? I get a number. Well, somebody messaged me. I don't know the number. But the person start talking to me. We start connecting with each other. I save the number. But at the end, the person is trying to bring some negative energy to me. What do I do at that point?
Well, it's for you to make a decision to use your critical thinking skills and see where you can actually think of what person going to your life and how they're going to impact your circle, your mental health, all of that, so you can curate that experience.
Well, I should have said, what would you do in that situation?
I usually don't accept new numbers unless I knew the person in real life. So this can be a good filter that everybody could have, so they can do that bit to be better about the people they come across on WhatsApp.
Okay, nice. Casper? Sienna, which one of it?
If I could add to what Ethan was saying, the other thing is that you might not necessarily be sure all the time of which numbers, what you should entertain. I think it's also a good idea to involve your parents, because I mean they would have experience with that. I think we've all the show catfish, so a lot of the times these things go south for a very long time, very 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 quickly. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to involve your person who you speak to on your social media. Sorry.
Okay, Sienna. So you growing every little thing. Would you want to go show it to your mom?
Not every little thing, but I mean, considering we have younger students as well, like people who are Jasper's age, I think that whenever they're confused about something, they should go to a parent who will be able to advise them best.
Okay, so if I'm afraid of speaking to my mom, because every little thing she'll get on, sometimes it's not even me wrong in that conversation, but her first thing might be confiscating the phone. What would you do in that situation?
I would wish that there wouldn't be these circumstances where victims get blamed for what they go through, and I hope if any parents are listening that they would be compassionate on their children when these kinds of things happen, because if that was to happen again, what happens is that the child will just not, and then they will just try to deal with it by themselves, and these things could go in so many spirals, in so many directions. They could end up spoiling their reputation. Maybe the person starts perpetuating rumors about the person. It might even become a violent situation when they start stalking you in a physical sense. So I think that as much as it might be difficult to things to your parents, the rage that you get from your mom probably wouldn't be as bad as a stranger following you to your home or something like that.
That's true. I agree with you on that. Gasper, you can go ahead and answer the question.
As Ivan said, my most frequently used app is WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is a place of communication, but it can also be a dangerous place, considering someone message you an unknown number that could if you reply back, you could start having a conversation with the person, and it could be dangerous. They can just get your number, and so many things could happen just because you give them information about you. So that could also be a dangerous place to use.
Okay, that's true.
Piggybacking on what Jasper said, there's a recent phenomena about people messaging you for your personal information to get scams and these things. Mm-hmm. And that limit situation where you give your parents address, the bank account information, and the thing can get spiraled out of there one time. So you have to be really careful about the type of numbers you see, the numbers you see on your phone, and who you talk to about. Yeah.
Alright.
As what Ethan said, my friends have been saying that unknown number messaging them. That has happened to me once or twice before. And when tell to my parents, my mom most told me to, just don't open the message at all, because like anything could happen.
Alright.
I normally just block the contact. If it seems extremely fishy, I would normally just block it. But I mean, just as a social media, I think that's what we could start doing, because I've seen a lot of cases of people just click someone's inbox and just go. That's not very respectable. I think what I would normally do is just say, hi, my name is Sienna. I'm messaging you for XYZ reason. Is this whoever, like right off the bat, so it doesn't seem suspicious.
Right. Okay. It is evident that we are evolving into a more technology world. How would you describe the evolution of social media in your life? You may begin from when you first started using social media versus now.
When I first started using social media, I used WhatsApp as a way of communication, and I really didn't know much details on what to do, but I know more stuff than what I knew when I first started using.
Okay, so you have learned how.
Well, I started social media, made my account when I was 10, so that's really young. And I saw the evolution of the features that people are making the apps that they is. Like before, I could not post a story, or I could not go live, and I saw like the evolution of people going live and people posting every move they are on their stories, posting what they eat, posting what they're doing on the stories, and it just became more and more invasive as the years has come, and I think that's a problem, but I guess some people like to do it.
It has a negative and a positive impact, I guess. Maybe you someplace you post it, one of your enemies want to catch up with you, or that sell could sell you out. So it has both a negative and a positive impact. Sienna Gaspar, would you like to answer?
Me, as I said, I started using the first social media platform I used was WhatsApp. At first, I think it was just, your profile picture and speaking to whoever you're speaking to. And then I think they had statuses. And instead of putting my memes as my profile picture, I can now put on my status. And I think further down the line, there was like end-to-end encryption. No third party could see the correspondence that you're sending to and from people on WhatsApp, and now they are disappearing photos and also disappearing messages. So yeah, that's what the end of WhatsApp looked like from my point of view.
Aspa? You like me to repeat the question?
I can answer.
No, before, as I said, I didn't know how to really send. I knew how to send a message, but now I can use it. Not only use it better, I didn't know some stuff, so I just stuck just sending words and messages. But now I realize what they mean, because I didn't know what they meant, and now I know what they mean, and I can use it in a way where I can show expressions for the message I'm sending.
Speaking to the psychology or the environment on these platforms, especially Instagram, earlier on, it used to be just what your friends post and just the people you could always see their life or their pictures. But now you see the most famous, the most beautiful, the most perfect people in the world, and that could be very detrimental to people our age. Yeah, and it's become more and more easy, because I could not get a better word, because I've seen people that literally look perfect over and over, as soon as I scroll down. And before, it used to be that I have his polo shirt and shoes, and so it's become more and more commercialized. Yeah.
All right. Viewers, I would like to remind you all that you can also ask questions via any of the social media platforms, Facebook or YouTube. So please send in your questions so we could ask our panelists this evening. Thank you. Okay, next question. What do you spend most time doing on social media? What do you spend most time doing on social media?
To be honest, I spend a lot of time talking to my friends, to people. I would like to talk about like schoolwork and other things, but that's really not the case when I go on WhatsApp or Instagram. And I would like to get better at that. We would like to get better at all of that. So yeah, it's most of the time it's talking with friends or with strangers.
Cracking jokes and
Okay. I spend most of my time on WhatsApp and YouTube. WhatsApp, I just talk to my friends, talk to friends and family. On YouTube, I watch videos, but positive videos for that matter. Videos on, as I said earlier, life lessons and stuff that could help you when you get a job or in your future life.
Okay.
I spend most of my time speaking to my friends and looking for memes. I wake up on Sundays to look for memes to post. So that's what I would do from time to time. And yeah, just listening to music, watching series on Netflix. Okay. These are the things I use social media for.
Okay, so Gasper, a question for you. You right?
Yes.
Who's your favorite YouTuber and why, if I may ask?
My favorite YouTuber, I will say a man named Daman.
Oh, really? That's mine.
He gives life lessons, life stories that a lot of people can say that has happened to them. A lot of people can say that they can relate to. A lot of people can relate to, and it shows how you should treat people, how you should treat others. So he's one of my favorite YouTubers.
Okay, nice to know. Okay. Does social media boost your self-confidence? And it aid in the stability of your mental health?
No, we laugh because it's opposite. Because I guess that, as I was saying before, you're seeing the most beautiful, the persons with the six-pack abs. I'm guilty of posting something so. And you constantly comparing yourself to people. Like constantly. As soon as you scroll, compare. That one have a better head. That guy's a better shit than me. He's living in a better area than me, or he has more money than me, or that girl is very nice, or it's like it's constant comparison, and it really weighs on your mental health because you're going back to your phone, you go in your pictures and you say, well, why don't I have the biggest? Why don't I have no pimples? Why don't I have a clear skin? And it's like you're very close to that when you're getting ready or when you're doing something in life, and you become very conscious of what you're doing. So it does the quite opposite reaction. You become less stable with your mental health.
I agree with you on that point.
Yeah, because normally if you go through social media, you compare yourself to other people so that they have what you don't have. But personally for me, as I said, I watch stuff that can help me in my life, things I should and should not do, how I should interact with people, as I said, and that helps me, it helps me in a positive way.
That's good.
For me, a positive effect that it has on my self-confidence is that I might find informative posts, and it might sort of to validate things that were already forming in my head. For example, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, Lucy, but I might come up with different like evaluations of things. This might cause that, and that might cause this. And I discovered a philosopher whose deductions and these kinds of things, it would seem as if like what I was thinking would have been on that same trajectory. So that kind of boosts my self-confidence, the validation. My mental health, not really, because I've noticed that I'm very antsy when I'm not around Wi-Fi or something, and you just feel so empty, like what am I going to do? Like, who am I? What's life? Like,
I can relate.
Yeah. I remember when Elsa passed, I didn't have electricity for a while, and literally I, like, just to find an excuse to be on my phone, I will go and watch like one episode of Rick and Morty, just to, kind of
decompress.
Yeah. But like I had to save my battery life, so it's like one episode every like few hours, and like you just don't know what to do in between the time. Yeah, it doesn't do much. It doesn't help your mental health. Well, mine did very much.
Okay.
It's like so like that happens to me. I like if something like that happens to me, like I lose electricity and my battery is low. Normally, if I use the phone, it's just for a short period of time to save battery energy. Yeah. So I usually go run outside, and that could also help your mental health as well.
Yeah.
You're better than me.
I was just coming and ask if we don't know about outside, going outside, kickball, batball again.
No, but you see, the problem is I'm an only child. So, I mean, if I had a sibling or if I had a cousin, we could run in the yard. But if I'm running in the yard by myself, what am I looking like? No.
Well, for me personally, I watch WWE. I just pretend I'm a superstar and I just run around the yard. Yes.
Oh, you both my boy.
No more game boards, nothing? What game you kind of play by yourself?
Well, I mean, what I did do, I think my parents and I started to play blackjack. So,
Wow. Wow.
So that was really fun. I had a lot of fun playing out that game.
I know about board games. If I'm by myself, and if others are busy and I just want to play a board game by myself, usually I just take the peg, their army or something.
Imaginary friends.
Okay.
That's nice. Okay.
Well, personally, I'm often injured when my phone is dead. Like literally injured because all my games and the things are on my phone.
Yeah.
So it's usually I go outside and exercise. Or other than that, I'm pretty reliant on my phone. Sadly.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question, I will have Ethan answer it first. That question is, what impact does cyberbullying have on students' lives?
In preparation for this panel, I looked at a number of statistics on this, and the results was shocking. I remembered that 40% of all people on social media said that they have been negatively impacted by social media. And 63% of students have been negatively impacted by social media. And these include depression, self-harm, suicidal thoughts, and other that could derail the career of students. And to tie all of this together, it affects, the statistic was 44% of students reported that that social media affected their schoolwork, and that could be very, very, very bad when it comes to the education system. Yeah.
Yeah, for if someone is getting cyberbullied, that could lead them to not accomplishing what they need to accomplish. There's if you are getting cyberbullied a lot, especially if there's no one physically in contact with you who can help you, as you say, you can think about not only suicidal thoughts but self-harm, and that could impact you in a very negative way. So when you get cyberbullied, you can talk to somebody or something, so they can help you, talk to your parents, talk to somebody close to you, because that could end up in a very bad situation.
In the preparation for this discussion, I asked my followers what impact did cyberbullying have on them or to people who they know, and what the responses I got was that it's caused serious anxiety and depression for someone. A particular phenomenon that I joined social media last year, so I'm not sure how this has been going on, but someone mentioned that exposing pages, they destroy relationships and they also destroy people's reputations. And someone also responded that cyberbullying lowers people's self-esteem, and I would imagine that it might cause a fear of expression. So it might cause you not only to avoid expressing yourself on social media, but it depends on who the cyberbully is, because some students have experiences where it's their peers at school or people who are also students cyberbully them, so they might not really express themselves creatively or even simply raising their hand in class because they fear the embarrassment that would come from that. And I'd also imagine that it might make you at least consider changing your identity. You might want to, try to fit in or try to become less of a target to avoid that happening to you again.
Okay. Any one of you have an example of a peer, your classmates, or anyone being cyberbullied? Have you ever experienced someone being cyberbullied?
Yes.
Yeah, but I have this quote by this rapper. He says, "I think we all want to be a little Instagram famous, deep down inside, nameless, afraid of being forgotten. So harmful things we're planning, sitting on this phone for hours, feel out and rotten." And this quote just speaks to me when I think of social media and how people react to cyberbullying online. Sometimes your friend tells you something and you want to say something back, and it's often hurtful and you become less of yourself, you said. So you think of very hurtful things that all your friends might laugh at, but that could hurt the person very much. So yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
A few of my classmates had experience with cyberbullying. What a lot of them do is, I think, disabling comments on it, and sometimes even just delete all their posts on Instagram. Sometimes they would not post very frequently, or they would delete the post soon after they put it up. I'm not sure how comfortable in these things, because I'm not completely sure that this is what they in an ideal world. I suppose it's just them being cyberbullied again, or they just become more reserved. They don't really want to interact with people in a physical setting, and also on a virtual platform.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you are being cyberbullied and you try to ignore it, but then you are also being bullied physically, and that if cyberbullying causes you to get sad, but being bullied physically as well as cyberbullying is depression, and if someone is not to overcome it, someone needs to be there for you to comfort you and to just remind you to ignore it. But that will cause really deep depression if you are being cyberbullied and also bullied physically.
Okay, so with young persons who have been cyberbullied, what do you all help them? Do you all help them, or do you all do?
It's in the case that if it's in a group, you just laugh with the crowd. People laugh with the crowd, but you don't know whether that statement affected them or not. And if they come to you, that you try to console them, tell them, yeah, that might be funny, but it might not be true. And so you can let them see the bright side in that situation. Or you can just tell them, like, different people that are actually just life miserable.
Right.
That's what I do personally. I just don't interact with nobody that makes me not zen, not comfortable, not calm, not funny, not.
Right.
Yeah, and if you in a group with some people, they make a negative statement about you, and sometimes you laugh stuff, but it actually hurts you. But you just want to fall in with it, and that could cause you in a negative manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can cause you really sad depression. Yeah.
For me, I don't normally know that somebody who I know is being cyberbullied until very late after. Yeah, the incident I refer to happened to quite a while back, and I only just found out maybe a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I might not necessarily know to comfort them at the exact time that it happens, but I'm the type of person, I know that you wouldn't want people to treat you differently. So then maybe somebody is getting cyberbullied, and they wouldn't want for somebody to treat them differently from how they treated them yesterday before all that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably just try to make you feel comfortable, make you feel as if but this never happened. I have no idea what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You're just the same to me as you were before.
Right.
I personally don't know anybody. I don't think I know anybody who is being cyberbullied, but in a case that I did, I think to do would be to not only be there for them, but to comfort them, interact with them, do stuff with them, hang out with them, to make them feel like they are wanted and not only just being bullied. So make them feel like they are being loved and cherished.
Okay. So Gaspar, if that's to the point where anything you do, you comfort them, you show them that they've been loved, like anything you're doing is just not helping them, what would be your next step from?
If I do all that and it still doesn't comfort them, I think the next thing that I personally will do is I think I will try to get them help from somebody else, but I will still try to do my best. I'll still try to do my best, and I will really encourage them to ignore cyberbullying, bullies through social media and even physically. I will definitely encourage them to just ignore it.
All right, nice. Gaspar. Anybody else having to say on that point?
Yeah, as a former peer counselor,
Right, yeah.
we have been trained to refer students to the counselors in the schools and other outside counselors. So that could be a good option if the cyberbullying gets really bad. So, and like I was saying before, we need to curate an experience on our phones. Like we need to, because in this age, you need to curate the experience, because you don't know whether if our mental health is being affected, or you don't know who is doing what on your behalf or to you. So you have to curate the experience. So block anybody. Be quick to block. Be quick to not answer people. Be quick to leave groups. Be quick to do all these things to stop, to curate the experience that you want on your phone.
You said be quick to leave groups. Let's say you're in a group. Let's say, okay, you're in the student council executive.
Wow.
That helps others. Just one member in that group is cyberbullying. Would you encourage them to leave the group, or what would you encourage them to do?
In the case of the National Students Council, we have a number of services and facilities and processes so that we could deal with that situation. And if your group does that, you create those processes yourself. You have to tell people in the group, yo, I don't comment, I don't like when you say this, I don't like this and that. So you create the expectation, you create boundaries for yourself and for the other members of the group, so that they don't do it again. And if they do it again, sometimes that you just have to give up and just leave group, because if you don't like that, why should you watch it and do it every day? Just because you want to be in a group? I think my mental health is more important than being, yeah.
Okay. Anyone has a point, anything to give on that?
If you're in a group and someone is saying negative things about you, I think you should confront them about it, say that you don't like the comment they just made, and if they to do will just be to leave the group completely and ignore it.
Okay, but groups have executives. We have presidents, we have vice presidents, we have different types of executives. Some groups even have a counseling group. So wouldn't you encourage them to go to a executive member or maybe somebody on the counseling group?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be best.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just remember the recent experience that where I heard of certain things that some people were saying about like a form, or a good number of people in their form were saying about someone in their own form. And what I did was I spoke to my friends, because I wasn't the person who witnessed it. So the people who told me, I told them to try to get these children to stop troubling the child, to leave her alone. And I swear the comments they made no sense. I think it was just a case of, jealousy. It's exactly jealousy. And I'm sure if they had to look at what they said at that time, like why and what purpose did it really serve you? But I would like to hope that the victim is doing well. I think she's doing okay. She's a very cherished person. I think she's good.
Okay. Right. Would you encourage other persons your age to use social media? And if yes, why?
I would encourage my peers to use social media, but definitely to a certain extent. I would do it because I would encourage them to use social media because it's a form of communication, and on the entertainment side of it, definitely a certain extent, because people do literally anything on social media, and most of that could impact you in a very negative way. So you're definitely going to have to look at the certain things you watch to a certain extent, because that really impact your personal life very negatively.
Right.
Well, personally, I am unfortunately 16 years old, and you develop. As I grew up, I became more business-minded. So I wanted customers, and where people my age are currently on is on social media. So I say for the business, the young, you do get on social media to simply market your business. That's a great way to get customers and get your name out there, build your brand.
Right, I agree.
To use social media because its importance is ever increasing. You'll probably do an application today and they'd ask you for your social media handles, and not having that, it might seem a little strange. It might come off to me at least as you might have some fishy things on your social media, so maybe that's why you didn't put any. I think that you could use your social media pages to, as you said, to market yourself, to build a reputation for, and to interact with organizations that you wish to become a part of. You could, become an active viewer. You could comment on a lot of their posts and these kinds of things, and maybe they might start paying attention to you. You could also encourage other people. For example, before I joined the Girls of a Feather, I shared a lot of their posts. I started little conversations with my peers about the things that they would have posted. And just this year, I actually joined the club. So I think that you should use social media, especially seeing now that people start rumors and stuff about people. It's good to, at the very least, to take the opportunity to say something about yourself before anybody else does. So,
yeah. Jasper?
What she just said, like, you can use social media to, for example, if you use social media, you can use it for work, you can use it for school, you can also use it to interact with friends. When you post certain things, you have to make sure that it impacts you in a positive way and not a negative way.
Right. I'd just like to say you can also use social media to encourage persons. You could start in the crowd and encourage persons. Maybe every day you wake up, post an encouraging quote or video or something, just to stand out, especially as we know we have people on those platforms who are being cyberbullied. Yes, Ifan?
No, I was raising my hand because I do try to do that every day. I try to post a very motivational quote, to work hard, to focus on your goals, eliminate distractions. So I think that helps. Some people have told me that helps, so I will keep doing it, and helps me. So
continue. You should.
I know some people who always on the morning post inspirational thoughts and messages, and that could also help ignore cyberbullying and focus on self-esteem.
Right.
In the preparation for exams, I use my social media page to, encourage people who are being stressed, although I've also used my social media to express my stress as well. In hindsight, maybe that's something I could pull back on, but some people had issues with quadratics, for example. I posted my steps to solving a quadratic equation, and a lot of people told me it helped. I also use Check Prep. That's an app that I use to make notes. I think I've made my cards public, so I have cards on CXC Physics. Not all topics though, but I have cards on CXC Physics, and I posted them, and a lot of my physics class thanked me for that. So I think that's something people could use social media for as well.
Oh, wow, some very positive students in my panel. Keep it up, guys. We're now due for another commercial break. We'll be back with you guys in the next minute or two. Thank you.
future is ever changing. Community jobs and economies are continually being transformed. This is why we need incredible minds to connect problems of innovative solutions, to disrupt and create new industries, to enable businesses to think sustainably, to shape evidence-based leaders and the next generation of visionaries. SALCC helps you to shape your career. Your passion is calling. Your future is standing by. Tap into your potential. Virtual and on-site classes, dedicated faculty, diverse student experiences, and highly recognized programs. Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. Apply today and fast-track your career.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Thanks for waiting. Panelists are all ready to move on.
Yes.
Yes.
How do you think your social media presence affects you beyond your student life? How do you think your social media presence affects you beyond your student life?
Let me start with positive. I think it has given me a lot of opportunities to do photography, which I do, to model, which I love to do, to talk, which I love to do. So I think it has given me a lot of opportunities. But on the negative side, I think it has made me more self-aware and more self-conscious, almost developing like narcissism, because you're always focused on how do you come across, how are you talking, how are you looking, if the person on the other end is hearing what you say. So it's so bad that you become more self-conscious. Yeah.
Gasper?
Yes, if social media can affect you beyond your student life. For example, if you now that you are in school, you can just post whatever you do or whatever comes to your mind and post it. That could also be negative as well as positive, but more if you post more on the negative side, when you, for example, if you go to look for a job or apply for a university, they can go over to look to your social media page, and that will make them question whether you are eligible for the job or to be to attend the university or not.
Okay.
On the positive side of things, I think that social media allows you, as I said before, it allows you to interact with different organizations, and I mean, depending on what you post about, who you see on your social media, scouts might approach you as well. But that would work best if your page is authentic. It doesn't necessarily have to give the full picture of who you are as a person, but it should give some sort of reality as to what you want to involve yourself in, what is it that you tolerate, what do you support, and your support will be shown especially in the things that you repost on your story, on Instagram, for example. On the negative side of things, I think most people who have been around on social media for a while know that something always comes back to bite you, and I think that's a good place to bring in the topic of cancel. Yeah, especially if you're in the public eye, you know, some strange thing that you said 11 years ago might come back and maybe ruin your career, or it might make you lose a sponsor, or you might just lose a near opportunity to an opportunity that's brought near to the started to expose you. Should it be so? I think not, because I think we need to allow people room to change. So yeah, that's my point.
Okay, before we move to our question from our viewers, since time is against us, I have one question, and that question is for Ethan. Ethan, I've heard you have a business, Ethan. So I have a very special question for you. Most of our students are becoming young entrepreneurs, and I make use of social media as an online marketing tool. Do you, as a student and entrepreneur, have a strong system support from your peers? Feel free to make mention of your brand, what you do.
Well, my brand is Leon Media. We take a lot of photos, sometimes videos of males, specifically people from 16 to 20 years old. I wanted to focus on young ages because we, on social media, especially Instagram, our pages are not up to date like the girls would have their nice photos on the side. So I thought that would have the untapped market. And to your question about social media, you market yourself on social media, but you should keep it strictly business. And you don't mix business with personal. That's why you should have another account for your business.
Right. Okay, do you get support from your peers?
Well, yes. Limited, but yes. Shout out. I would encourage to support each other's business because we are all trying it. We are trying to do something for ourselves, for our futures, and it is often that a stranger might come to you and say, "Yes, I want you to take my photo," but not your own friend. And it's often you have to trouble, but you have to entice them to come and take a photo. And when you become famous and big and you have all these followers, they want to come and say, then they want to say, they want a free photo shoot.
So, can you repeat your business brand again?
Oh yeah, I run Leon Media. We do photography.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Your future. Questions from the public now. What happens when you spend too much time on social media?
When you spend too much time on social media, if you spend too much time on social media, first of all, you can get pains in your body, depending on what posture you're on, and you get more addicted to the phone, computer, just the device in general, than your physical life, talking to people face to face, because it's more addictive, and that could it could be really negative for your personal life and things you have to do, and like things you want to accomplish. Sometimes you're more into the device than into things physically, and that could also affect your mental in a negative manner.
Okay.
When you spend too much time on social media, you kind of detach. You can never be able to interact appropriately or sufficiently with your immediate environment. And I mean, that isn't necessarily the case in St. Lucia, but I think we've all had an experience where we see someone crossing your road, they're trying and text somebody, and it's like you could pull back a little bit. The other thing that happens when you spend too much time on social media is that you let time pass and you're not doing other things. For example, you're not studying, you're not paying attention in class, especially in online school. It's much easier for that to happen.
I was thinking that when you often spend time on social media, you become social, and the irony is like impeccable, but you don't know how to talk to people. When I was in Form 3, I had to actually make a decision where I would actually look people in the eye, talk to them more personally, actually pay attention to them while it's on my phone, like put my phone down while I'm talking to people. So I become more like socially engaged in talks and these kind of things. When you spend a lot of time on social media, your social skills are deteriorating. Yeah.
Okay. What is the best time to post on social media? Anybody can give the answer to that?
Well, on Instagram, that's my platform of choice. You can go on your analytics and you can check your best time to post. Usually from 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all the way up to 8. That's a good time to post because a lot of people are on the platform at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything to say, Sienna and Gaspar? Any suggestions to give them?
I don't post for content. I said earlier, I consider myself a viewer. But if I were to post, I would say the best time to post over social media, for example, Instagram or Twitter. I think the best time for that would be between 12 and 6 o'clock. I think that's the best time to post.
Okay.
All I have to say is that the best times not to post, in my opinion, would be during class. For example, you should actually make a conscientious decision to put your attention in the places that matter. So, for example, whilst you're with your family or your friends, it shouldn't be a time for you to be trying to get validation from your followers, half of whom you don't know. But okay, for example, for a Christmas dinner, you should probably spend the more time engaging with your family instead of trying to post what you for Christmas, what meal you get,
what meal you eat.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, thanks for your answers. Do you see social media constantly changing?
In what sense?
If as that question, I think I will take it as like updating.
Yeah.
Oh.
Updating and changing things. So social media has always been changing day after day. New updates, new ways to interact, new things to do. But sometimes the updates could also, for example, mess with files on your device. But it updates pretty much every single day.
Okay.
Socially, like I said, when I was 10 years old, it used to be a lot of funny posts and cat videos and dog videos. Now it's a lot more toxic. So it's constantly changing to the times or the whims of like the people in the society. So if people are becoming more happy, you'll see more and more happy posts.
Right.
People becoming more and more toxic, you'll see more and more toxic posts. So yeah, it's constantly changing.
Right. Yeah.
For me, as you alluded to, for example, pranks. The pranks used to be something that was like enjoyable, a Mr. Bean or silly thing, and now it's that the pranks don't even make any sense. Like, it's a sort of challenge, right? It's a whole thing of sorts, and then you just
it's beyond me.
I don't understand the sense of these things, and that relates to like in my feed, for example. Sometimes I mention one keyword like soup, and I just see endless soup recipes in my feed, and I'm like, come on, that was necessary. But yeah, these are the changes that I could see in social media.
Okay, our last question, our closing question, sorry. In just a few words, can you share some word of advice to our students who are victims of cyberbullying?
Yes, a few words I would say to you must have self-confidence and self-esteem in yourself to overcome the cyberbullying. You can watch certain shows that could help you with your self-confidence and self-esteem that will help you overcome. So I have to say, just keep believing in yourself and keep your self-confidence going.
Okay.
One of my favorite quotes is diamonds are made under pressure. And you are a diamond, so you might be feeling the pressures of life affecting you. You will become the most beautiful diamond in the world if you just stay the course, become confident, like Jasper said. Yeah.
I would say to go to people who would definitely be in your corner. For example, the peer counselors or peer helpers be in your corner. I'm a peer helper, and not just within my school. Anybody could come to me, and I would try to help them as the best as I could. The other thing is, I think something a lot of people do also fear too is to befriend the bully. So hopefully they will not to bully me because they're my friend. Do not do that. If they will do it to you once, they will do it again. Just hold your corner, maybe unplug for a little bit. Try to rearrange your circle, maybe. That kinds of things.
Okay. So thank you, panelists, for coming here today. Thank you, viewers, for taking your time off to be with us here, not really, but virtually, for taking your time and joining us here. I wish you all the best in your future, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I now hand the mic to the president of the St. Lucia National Student Council, Mr. Sherwin Alexander. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Miss Moderator. Let me be brief and quick. On behalf of the St. Lucia National Student Council, I would like to express my gratitude to GIS for letting us hold yet again a very successful panel discussion. I would also like to be thankful for the kind assistance of Ms. Devine. I would like to thank and commend the panelists for a job well done. I would like to thank them for volunteering and sharing their time with us, with the viewers, to speak and let us know what's going on in their personal lives and with social media, and also to speak on the behalf of the respective educational levels. I wish to express the panel committee for putting together a very magnificent panel discussion. This committee comprises of Ms. Kiana McDonald, Ms. Letana Bruno, Mr. Jaden Okav, our host, the moderator, Mr. Tanya Brown, and of course the lead person from the National Student Council, Mr. Mika. I would like to thank the executive of the St. Lucia National Student Council for the support they have given, and most importantly, I would like to thank you, the viewers, for paying interest in such a panel discussion. Thanks very much, and do have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.